Yo, AFTV Picks is giving away 5 PS5s. Not 1, not 2, but 5 PS5s. 5! All you got to do to enter is go onto AFTV Picks, answer the simple question, and one of these PS5s could be yours. You can enter by going online. You can even do it old school by sending it in by post. But make sure you get on it right now. We've got 5 of them to give away, so do it right now. You have to be over 18 to enter, but answer that simple question, and one of these 5 could be yours. So enter now. 5! Hi, welcome along to AFTV. It is time for the player of the season. This was such a hard decision, man, because players left, right and centre banging down the door saying, yo, me.
Yeah?
I don't know. There's so many great performances right throughout the season. Incredible.
This reminds me of how I start the warm-up, you know?
How's it going? Nice and happy. Yeah, by the end you're depressed.
Yeah. As you know, there are not many candidates, right? But there are some players that have been decent. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some of the candidates for the Arsenal Player of the Season. You can vote for your Player of the Season. What we're going to do is we're going to put forward some candidates here today, and you can vote for them. You just go to the app, AFTV VIP, and vote for who you think should be the Player of the Season. And we're going to announce the winner before the game against Brighton at the weekend, right? So get out there and vote. It's all down to you guys. But we're going to put forward a few candidates. I'm going to start, yeah?
Let's go.
I'm putting forward Nicolas Pepe. Pepe, I'm putting forward. I think he's had a really good season. Every time he's played, to me, he's made an impact. It's been his best season at Arsenal. I think last season he scored, I think it was 8, first season about 5. He's one of the few players in this team that scores goals, especially from out wide, right? And I just think he's had a good season. And I think, had he been managed better, he would have had a better season. We could be looking at a player that would have had like 20 odd goals for the season. Why players like Willian were starting in front of him this season, I do not know. And I think this is a guy that if he's managed better, next season can be a very, very important player for Arsenal Football Club. So I'm going Pepe, that's what I'm putting forward. You know?
I think that's a good shout. I know Cecil's probably going to disagree, but I think, listen...
Well, he's a Pepe hater,
No, I'm not. Don't do that. Don't do that. Why does everyone do that?
No, because you hate him.
No, I was one that was downstairs thinking, do you know what? Fair enough to Pepe. He's had a good season. His numbers are actually really good.
So why are you screwing up your face then when I'm saying he's a Pepe?
Because he is frustrating. You got to admit, he's a frustrating player.
No. Let me break down Pepe now, right?
All right, go on.
Pepe is one of these ball-carrying players, right, that likes to take players on. I love players like that, right?
Yes, so do I.
Now, sometimes I get it wrong. Sometimes they go to take on a defender, and defender gets it right, so nicks the ball off of him, and people get frustrated. But you don't want him to give up doing that. You want him to try it again and again and again, right? And those sort of players are a threat. You look in games, right? How many times has Pepe doubled up, trebled up?
Yeah, he's all
because
the time.
they know how dangerous it is.
Yeah.
Look how good he is at crossing the ball in, right? I just think he ain't been managed right. I think this guy's a top player. And I'm putting him forward as a candidate.
He's got ability.
I think he's had 2 managers that haven't favoured him as well, Cecil. You've got to agree with that.
No, I do agree.
Where if you buy a £70 million player, essentially, if it's an attacking player, you're going to want to play through him. And Pepe didn't get that with Emery, and he didn't get that with Arteta, even this season. And what I want to say is all the candidates that we have to pick from, it's going to be a season of 20 to 25 good games, not 50 good games because of the season we've had. And Pepe's in there.
Yeah, do you know what? At the beginning of the season, I'll be very much arguing this big time. But towards the end of this season, I think Pepe's on a good run of form. He's probably out of all the people going to probably put forward. Right now, he's the top of, at the moment, currently playing the best.
He's the form player.
Yeah, he's the top form player.
And actually, kind of that, obviously, when you have these debates, that helps when you're talking about the players who are playing the best right now. I think if you're talking from January, I think he's definitely been the best player. But obviously, accounting for the whole season, and I do get what Cecil's saying, he can be so infuriating at times. He can go missing, but I think we're starting to see really good signs. He's not my player of the season, but I'm glad we're talking about him because I think he deserves recognition. He is the kind of player, as you alluded to, Robbie, He can make things happen out of nothing. And so when Willian wasn't doing it, and Pepe wasn't either really, I was thinking, yeah, but play Pepe, because at least he might pull something
Play the guy
out.
week in, week out, man. He can be a really top player, and I just think, as I said, I don't think he's been managed right, but I'm putting him forward. Who are you putting forward?
I'm going for Kieran Tierney, you know. I am. This was tricky, because obviously there's a few obvious names I think you guys are going to bring up, but Kieran Tierney for me, obviously you do your player rating show every week or after every game. If you did the average number of every player, I bet Tierney's is the highest.
Probably.
Because
he's reliable enough.
For whenever he plays, he never gives anything less than a 7 out of 10, easily. And more often than not, he's an 8 or a 9. And he's also that guy who, from left back, you feel like can win you the game somehow. North London Derby were not finding a goal, but he's the one beating his man, getting into the box. Odegaard gets the equaliser. Not even Slavia Prague. It was who was Benfica? It was that in Olympiacos. That's why I'm getting confused. But you know, he's the one who digs that goal out when we need it and gives us 20 minutes to try and find a winner. And he looks like a captain. He's vocal. He's a leader, which I know are sort of cliches you hear, but it's very true of him. And I love his ability to do things defensively, going forward as well. I genuinely think he's the most complete player we got in terms of the whole package: personality, ability, attitude.
Should be the captain.
Yeah. I think he should be the captain. And I think, to sum it up, in terms of his average rating and the average performance we've got out of him, I think it's been the best.
And you know, I think the point as well, had he not had so many injuries,
injury prone.
that's the only thing that's really setting back this season. If we can get this guy, if we can get a season out of Kieran Tierney.
They were laughing.
Yeah, it'd be good for his confidence too.
Yeah. Who you got then?
Yeah, I'm going for Emile Smith Rowe, you know. And the more we talk, the more I think that most of these players, aside from Tierney, which I'm surprised you brought up as an option, but at the same time it makes sense.
Yeah.
A lot of the attacking players we're going to choose from are going to have to be from January onwards in terms of productivity. I feel with Pepe, he didn't get a fair chance in the first half of the season. He got Europa League games, he banged in those.
Did well.
He did well.
Yeah,
he didn't really get much in the league. Willian was preferred. So from January, we had Pepe coming in and out a bit more, but Emile Smith Rowe coming in for me, I feel like that changed a lot in terms of energy. We lacked so much, not only creativity, but energy in the middle too.
Yeah.
And what Emile Smith Rowe brought is runs beyond the defenders, helping the strikers, you know, pick up the ball, make some more space. Not only that, in about 17 starts this season, he's got 2 goals, 4 assists. That's in the Premier League. He's got 1 goal, 3 assists in the Europa League in 8 games. He's got a goal in the FA Cup against Newcastle when he came on in January. He got a good goal there in extra time. So, as much as there's not an outstanding candidate for me this season, and Pepe's in with a shout, Tierney's in with a shout, I feel like Emile Smith Rowe for me, because I didn't expect anything from Emile this season. I actually put him in that bracket of youngsters where I would have put Willock and Eddie at the beginning of the season, in terms of they're not quite cutting it in my opinion. But what Emile's done is, you know, stick his head above the rest and elevated himself.
I like Emile Smith Rowe, you know, and I remember James. I remember back in December when he was screaming for Emile Smith Rowe, like why he kept saying there's no creative problems. No, there's creative problems at Arsenal. Emile Smith Rowe, use him. Let's see what he's about.
I was fully on that as well. I really was.
He come in and he just delivered, absolutely straight away delivered. And what I like about him is Martin Odegaard came in, didn't faze him. I think he actually stepped up.
True, actually.
Didn't faze him.
Played on the left at times
on the left,
when he had to.
And done great performances. So big up Emile Smith Rowe.
It does people's head in when you do the whole, well, since Boxing Day, we're second in the league. And I understand why, because the season's 38 games long. But where that argument does have a bit of weight is that there's a very obvious change in the look of the squad, and that was the arrival of Odegaard, Martinelli getting fit, but Emile Smith Rowe developing. And that was a big change in our fortune. So you could argue that we don't scrape the top half of the table without Smith Rowe. So yeah,
because look, going into January, we had Willian played as an attacking mid, and we were struggling. We was calling
Lacazette.
We was calling for Saka. Ceballos played there a couple of times, and then all of a sudden Emile comes in, and it's like, well, natural fit.
Yeah,
it's
like
true.
sort of screaming at him.
Yeah.
Me?
Who you gone for?
Come on, the obvious. This is. I'm sure everyone watching.
Willian?
Jesus. And we got Ty in the building. I want to go with this one. Bukayo! Big throwback. But yeah, Saka for me. It has to be. I've heard from inside source, he gets loads of back injuries because he carries the team so much. So I think, it's got to be him. It's been 45 appearances. He's done 41 starts and 45 appearances. He's relied on so much within the team. The second most appeared player after Xhaka. So yeah, man, Saka, and he's been carrying the team. He's got 7 goals and 10 assists. Saka, man, he's a absolute generational talent for me. Guys, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you lot agree.
He's been outstanding. He's been outstanding. Yeah, again, second season in a row he's been outstanding since he's come in. I mean,
double-digit assists again.
Yeah, brilliant. The only thing I'd say with Saka, finishing could be a bit better. I think he could have some more goals.
Yeah.
There's a few games. I remember that time when he's clean through at Leeds, 1-on-1. There was another game I think after that.
Prague first half.
Yeah. If he can get the finishing better, what a player.
I hear that.
I'd love to see him get a shout for the England team as well. He did very well when he went into the England team as well. And he's so strong, quick. He's got everything.
I love
balance.
his attitude. Yeah. The guy's played left back, left wing back, left of a forward front three, right of a front three, right wing back, right back against Benfica when we needed a goal. Number 10.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And this guy just does it. And he never really... When he played right wing back against Chelsea, I thought, oh, Arteta's having one of his moments. And, you know, he probably did. But Saka's good enough to just get you through that. So we're very lucky to have him. I don't know if he would have been bailed out as many times without him.
Can we hold on to him? If he has another season like this and we don't start showing some ambition, it's the sort of player that could get picked off. I'm putting in an honorary mention. There's a couple of players. Gabriel.
Yes.
Decent shout, decent shout.
He was brilliant. You know, you guys keep saying most of the players that you talk about from Christmas. No, he was before Christmas.
He started
really.
As a matter of fact, it weren't until I think he got sent off one game.
Southampton,
then he got the COVID thing, and then he dipped. Then he come back. He was a little bit rash. Then towards the last bit of the season, he's gone back to where he's the future of our defence.
Yeah. Yep.
Really, really good player. So I'm putting an honorary shout for him. And I've got another honorary shout I'm going to put in.
All right.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Cedric?
Yeah. Cedric.
Xhaka. No Turkish. I know you don't like the word Xhaka. But he's been one... All right, look at this. Hear me out now.
I'm listening. That's all I can do right now.
Obviously, Saka, Smith Rowe, those guys have been brilliant. Name a more consistent player, though.
It's not good.
You know what's mad, though, Rob? You see the players we've talked about, We've agreed that Kieran Tierney, through injuries, he's had about 20, 25 good games. Saka and Emile Smith Rowe, because youngsters bedding in, 20, 25. Pepe, because of preference. So they haven't been consistent because they haven't been given the chance to be consistent. Whereas Xhaka has been given chance after chance from every manager we've had in the last 4 years to be consistent.
Forget the 4
years. So
he's
been consistently average at best. Which, okay, you can argue that there's some players that are consistently rubbish at best this season, which makes consistently average look good. But for me, I feel like Xhaka, if I had an honorary mention, I might put Laka ahead because at certain points this season we've relied upon Laka's goals. But, you know, Xhaka's one of those ones that I don't see what people see in him. I never have, I never will.
Listen, he's not what we need going forward. Right? I'd love us in the summer to go and get like a Basuma or someone like that. But as far as this season goes, he's been consistent. A lot of times I'll do the player ratings. Xhaka's always like a 7.
Yeah, that's because you did it with DT though.
there it is.
That's true.
There it is.
Yeah, Xhaka lover, that's true.
The consistent thing, the shout's a bit mad though. Consistent where in the midfield or at left back?
He's been consistently a solid player. He's not been spectacular, but he's just them consistently player that's just ever present. And he's just been consistent. He's just like done what he says on the tin. He ain't been bad. He ain't been exceptional, but he's been consistent for the season.
All right.
I think Xhaka would get more credit if you had a squad and a group that did everything else. It was getting to the top 4, challenging for the title, and then sometimes you need that player who just keeps things ticking, who just does his job, who just gets stuck in.
He seems like a nice guy.
Man's talking about personality. We're talking about football.
I'm trying here, you know. I'm trying.
No, listen, he's been consistent. He's been consistent. You mentioned Lacazette.
Yeah, I think he deserves a mention considering...
Been the best striker out of, you know.
Yeah, no one expected that. Yeah. You know, we all thought Oba's going to do his thing again this season. He hasn't. I'm not saying Laka's done amazing, but what he has done is he has had a good output. He's been there.
Again, you know, I think we missed him so much in that, you know, when he got injured for that semi.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, Lacazette's a funny one. You know, nearly 20 goals in a team that's really struggled this season, doesn't create a lot of chances. Yeah, Creatively works hard, and I like that. He gives his all, but You still want more from his strikers, but he's had a good season.
Anyone else? Any other honorary mentions?
Cedric.
You're going with that Cedric one, really?
What are you screwing up your face for?
Even I can't say that. He's played like 10 games.
Yeah, and he's been consistent in all them 10 games.
He has.
Cedric.
You know you've had a poor season.
Bro, you're telling me about Xhaka being consistent and I'm saying Cedric.
Listen, right? The guy is like third choice right back to a guy who's not even right back.
That's Arteta. That's Arteta though. That's Arteta's fault.
Chambers has kept him and Bellerin out of the team. No, he had a little
stupidness.
spell where he did all right, but he's not been good this season.
You may as well
He's not been good this season.
No,
You may as well say Balogun.
He had a little spell. He had a little spell of a couple of games. So all right, he's a bit unlucky because he's shoved over onto the left-hand side to cover. But he's been all right.
So no one's not.
he's all right. He's been all right for 10 games.
No, because he had a spell, and actually, if you look at it, even Bellerin had a spell. But you could argue.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You could argue that at the start of this season, Bellerin had a great spell. Right, he forced his way into the Spanish squad, just like Cedric had a great spell, forced his way into the Portuguese squad. But both of them have finished off the season poorly. From say Christmas, from the New Year,
Cedric,
from the New Year onwards, both of them.
You can't say that. I said he hasn't played. Arteta hasn't played him. You can't say he's had a poor end to the
because why?
season.
There's problems at right back, that's for sure.
He ain't been doing it.
I think we all agree we need a new right back.
Yeah, we need a new right back.
And we need Aubameyang and Leno, who were in this discussion a year ago, 12 months ago. They're in this discussion. We need them to be back in it next year, for sure.
Honorary mention for David Luiz,
Big time. I'll give you that.
I'm looking in the bottom of the barrel and I see. We can scrape his name from the bottom if you want.
We can get Luiz out. We get Luiz out.
We've got Cedric and Xhaka out there. When your first season is a season of most red cards and most pens, and you have a follow-up season, you're bound to look better than that one, in my opinion.
Don't you think he was an influential player in the team this season? He's the best defender at passing, very combative in that defence, made a lot less mistakes than he normally makes in the previous season. I thought he was quite good this season.
Again,
another player we missed when it came to that latter part of the season, towards the end of the season. Again, injured in the semis. Yeah. Big miss.
Yeah.
Right? The way we want to play does not work when he's not in the team. Facts. When we want to pass it out from the back and that, he's that guy. He can ping that pass. I think
I'll give you that one. You come back around.
I think Luiz and Gabriel have been good this season.
The Xhaka shout was mad, but
Luiz and Gabriel have been a good partnership at times, but so was Mari and Holding. When I look at January and the change, Mari and Holding was very much prevalent in that. So if you had to, I'd actually put Mari over Luiz this season. That's my personal choice, because Mari, a year into coming into this league, just a year, 27, 28, he doesn't speak English. He doesn't get enough consistency like Pepe. But when he steps in, how many times have you seen him make a mistake? Rob Holding, we've seen mistakes. Luiz, we've seen mistakes. Gabriel, we've seen mistakes. This season, Mari made a mistake the other day that it didn't cost him against Chelsea. But aside from that, I've been pretty confident in both.
Steady Eddie.
I'm glad you mentioned Luiz, because just very quickly, I think if any other player with the amount of trophies and the career he's had would get far more, let's say, praise than he gets for the career he's made. I know it wasn't all at Arsenal. Very little of it was at Arsenal. But this season, if you forget last year, if you forget everything around his errors and what he can be like, I think he's been brilliant when he's played. Yeah. So, he's not the answer going forward. He's not the future. And his best moments haven't come at Arsenal. But he's been very good this season, in my opinion.
Okay, well, listen, there's a lot of candidates. I bet you're surprised, isn't it? You just thought to yourself, there'll be like 2 players maybe. And we put forward quite a few, right?
We got Matt Ryan in there as well. I can put him out.
Is that Runnison? No, big up Runnison.
But let's just say, recap though on the main candidates. We've all picked one each, right? So Pepe, right? Saka, Smith Rowe,
Tierney.
And I think you could put Gabriel in there
Can I say something that we've been harsh on someone?
Gabriel in 5.
We've been harsh on Leno. We're mentioning a man like Xhaka and Luiz ahead of Leno, who at the beginning of the season faced immense pressure because the club decided to sell Martinez. And this season he's made some mistakes, but he's also made some big saves that kept us in the Europa League, for example, for a little while.
Good player, but mistakes too big.
I don't think he's had a great season. I think he's been okay. I don't think he's been terrible.
Agreed.
But by his standards, I think it's not been as good. There's been a lot of players that have been just not delivered. But those are the 4 or 5 main candidates. Remember, you can vote. There's a link in the description. Go to AFTV VIP, Vote right now. Who is your player of the season? We are going to announce it before that last game against Brighton. So let us know. You may be completely left field on this one. I don't know. Want to hear from you guys. And also in the description, let us know, you know, about individual players who you thought has been a bit of an unsung hero. You know, nobody mentioned Holding. It's quite consistent, no?
Let's not get back into this. How long we got?
He's digging in the barrel again, right? So listen, we want you guys to vote. But thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe here to AFTV. And yeah, one game to go.